Having invested so much money raising your birds from day old to maturity, spending millions, hundreds of thousands as the case may be, will you leave this your investment in the hands of anyhow person or in the hands of thieves unknown to you? This is where the word protect your investment comes in. You will need to protect your investment, otherwise everything you spend there will go down the drain. This shouldn't happen to you. In this video, I'll be showing you how to prevent theft in your poultry farm so that your profit can be maximized. Welcome to Farmbiz with Markay. In this channel, we show you how to maximize profit in farming through creativity. Now, you know poultry business is not a child's play. When I mean child's play, if you really want to make it big in poultry farming, you will need to put in some level of resources, both money and time, in order to make it big, because it's a game of number, as I always tell people. Although generally animal production is a game of number, being it catfish, broilers, layers, a snail, as the case may be. That is, the more the numbers of birds you have well cared for, the more the profit you are going to make. Now, having produced your birds that raise your birds, for instance, broilers to maturity, massive in weight and all of that, if you leave them in the hands of anyhow people to manage them for you, in no time you'll be experiencing a whole lot of losses. Because I have heard so many farmers complain about this, especially layers, where they steal egg, even crack the egg, pour them inside some container and then go away with them. This is because there are no control measure in such farm. At a time, some situation made some of these farmers to learn the hard way. So they were able to cut some of these thieves. So now, when it comes to preventing theft from your poultry farm, generally they come in three forms. Number one, the insider theft. Number two is the outsider theft, while the third one is the predator. So I'll be analyzing these three categories of theft that can reduce your profit one after the other. Number one, which is the insider theft, that is insider theft. That is the main theft you should really pay close attention to. Now, your staff, those are your staff working in the farm, feeding your birds, cleaning and all of that, especially if you are not always around. This is very key, very important. Now, I've seen some people installing close CCTV cameras in their farm to really monitor the activities that are going on there when they are not around. So it's very important. But as a beginner who just started raising birds in his maybe 50, 100, 200 as the case may be, you might not have the capacity to really go for that closed circuit television, that is CCTV, to be monitoring the activities that is going on in your farm due to the cost implication and all of that. But then, how do you really monitor these people? Now, I always say, being it, even if you have closed circuit television and all of that, there is a method I always recommend to farm owners to implement in their farms, especially for layers. Have a precise time that you feed your birds, because for layers, you should have a particular time you feed them. It's not just anyhow time you give them feed and all of that. But my recommendation is you should always have a time that you feed. You should always have a time that you collect your egg. You should always have a time that you do clean up. This is one of the control measures you should put in place, because if for instance we are picking eggs from this our farm by 11 a.m. that 11 a.m. should be 11 a.m. They know, okay, by that 11 a.m. especially if you have closed circuit television. But if you don't have, okay, by that 11 a.m. you should have somebody that have your interest at heart there with them by that time to ensure that, okay, everything is collected. But one thing about poultry farmer you also need to understand, if you don't have, especially for your staff, if your staff do not have your interest at heart, my dear, your business is gone. They don't care about your profit, the money you have invested. It doesn't concern them. Before you know it, they will wreck you down. Don't let this happen to you. Now, how do you really make this staff to have your interest at heart? Though some of them are desperately wicked. Now, what you do, it's not all about profits, making profit from your sales and all of that, to the extent you won't take care of your staff. This is not good, because if you don't take care of them, it's a red flag. Because if they know, okay, even some cracked egg and all of that, my boy, he still sells everything, nothing to take home and all. I know they are not supposed to take home anything, but ideally to really make them feel better working with you, at times you might give them incentive. Okay, maybe at the end of the month, you can go home with half crate, you can go home with 1 crate, as the case may be. They know at the end of the month, other than their salary, there is some little extras they need to go home with. They'll be happy, and most of them will protect your interest. I've heard of farmers who complain that they don't see the birds growing, but they keep spending on feed and all of that. This is because they are not the one actually going there to buy the feed themselves. Because some of these staff, they are dubious in nature. They will tell you, okay, how many bags do you feed these birds today? Because layers is very, very sensitive to feeding. If you reduce the quantity of feed you give to your birds, it's not a problem. You will get it in your production. The number of eggs they will be laying, it will drop drastically. If, for instance, 200 birds has to consume 25 kg of feed in a day, and you decide to give them half bag, it will affect them negatively. Now, if you have some dubious staff, they sure will make this happen to you, because they can decide to sell off some bags of feed, or preferably when you send them to go and get some bags of feed, instead of getting, for instance, 50 bags, they can decide to buy 40 bags or 35 bags, and then pocket the remaining change and tell you, okay, since this is how it is now, feed half bag. They tell you, because they know you are not always around. When they feed half bag, they tell you it's full bag they feed. At the end, you will be seeing the result negatively. This shouldn't happen to you. This is the time you should put some control measures to really checkmate all of this, so that you can see your profit. The next threat you might have, which the next theft, is outsider theft. This is also very, very terrible, especially if your farm is not fenced. If where you are doing your farm operation is not fenced, where anybody can just come in at will, it's not good. I know the resources might not be there to really fence your property and all of that before going into poultry production. But in all, if you have the money, make sure the perimeter is fenced. Nobody can gain access easily before doing your poultry bed, because you will experience a whole lot of theft, especially if you are doing this poultry farming in a remote area, because they can jump into your compound, come in, steal your birds and all of that. That's a whole lot. Imagine you raising 200 birds, for instance, and what you lose to theft is about 50. Your profit is almost gone. So don't let this happen to you. Now, even if you don't have a perimeter fenced, you must ensure that you have somebody looking after these birds. Again, somebody that has your interest at heart. That somebody is always around to know, okay, what is happening at any point in time. Though, as I always tell people, poultry business is a full-time business. It's not something you do part-time, go to your 9 to 5 p.m. Job, come back in the evening and come and continue without somebody being around to really look after the birds, see how they are doing and all of that. No, but they won't do well. So you must always have somebody on ground to really check, okay, this is how the birds are doing and all of that. So this is where staff actually come in. So you must put an eye. Then maybe for somebody looking around, okay, both during the day and during at night, to really check, okay, what's going on. So you must prevent that, because this is your investment. You spent a lot raising your birds and all of that. You don't need to just leave it and let it be anyhow. No, you must protect it so that your profit can come in. That's for the outsider theft. It's very, very common. It's very, very tempting for them to come around and steal your birds. So don't let that happen to you. Now, the last one, which is the predator, is very, very important, especially if you live in a remote area. If you are doing your farming in a remote area, you always experience this. Dogs are not left out, because they can, especially if you don't net your farm. My advice is, wherever you want to do your poultry farm, ensure you net round the pen, so that predators can come in, like cats, dog, white dog and all of that, so that they can't just, white birds and all of that, they can't just come into your pen at will. No, ensure you net round the pen, so that nobody can just gain in access easily. In the past, my dog actually did something terrible to my birds. That was when I was doing layers. Before you know it, he will harass them in the cage. Some of them will jump out. The cage will open, they will jump out, and he will attack them. So that led to some level of losses then. So until I was able to checkmate that. So don't let wild birds get into your pen. Cats, dogs, wild animals, don't let them get into your pen. Snake is not left out. Don't let them get into your pen, because they can reduce your profit in the long run. So these are some of the things you need to look out for. Insider threat. You need to monitor your staff. You need to monitor them. And one other thing I want to really point out here, you should not employ a staff who you know is raising some birds in his house. Don't do that. Why am I saying that? Is it that, okay, when you are working in a farm, you shouldn't be raising birds on your own as a staff? No, that's not what I'm talking about. Now, it's very, very likely that staff is going to take care of his birds at home before coming to your farm. What is the effect of this? They can easily transmit some level of diseases from their farm at home to your farm. This is the reason you should discourage that. When you investigate, okay, before employing such staff, okay, do you have some few birds you have raising at home and all of that? Do not employ such staff. That is one, apart from transmitting diseases from his farm at home to your farm. Another thing, there is every likelihood that he or she will be using your feed to feed his own birds at home. Surprising, right? I know somebody who did this in the past. So don't employ such staff, because two things: either he will transmit some diseases from his farm. You don't know how the management of his farm at home is. Either he will transmit that diseases to you, to your farm, or he might also be using your feed to take care of his own birds at home. Don't let this happen to you. Ensure you do some level of background check before employing any staff that you want to employ. Now, finally, it's also very important to take care of your staff, being a poultry farmer or in any business. If you don't take care of them well, they may not have your interest at heart. I know some of them are desperately wicked. Whether you share your profit with them and all of that, they still will not have your interest at heart. So choose your staff wisely, do your background check before employing them. And if possible, where necessary, if you have the resources, install closed circuit television, that is CCTV camera, to monitor the activities of the farm. Because if they know, okay, you are always looking at the camera, see what is going on, that will in a way scare them from doing what they wanted to do. This is very, very important, so that at the end, your profit will be maximized. Thank you so very much. Once again, one of the things we do in this channel, when you ask your question, when you comment, if we feel replying such comment with text will not really give a detailed explanation of the answers, we take that your question, we make a video with it, so that you have a better understanding of the answer we provide. This is all I have for you today. If you find this video helpful, kindly do well to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification icon, like, comment and share, as this will help us to grow our channel and reach a larger audience. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it.